All right, we get it. We're here. Dude, chill out.
Welcome back. Whoa! Oh, yeah! Woo! Estamos activos, Hopper. Sean. Back in studio.
Are you ready?
108. People.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Wait,
I have to put the joke.
No. Hey, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Seguimos activo en vivo, emocionado en el día de hoy, damas y caballeros. We are back in studio. Excited to be here. Thank you for watching. We are Long Live Boxing en vivo podcast. Money siempre en vivo. Marrero.
Sean el Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. And you're absolutely right. Como es debido. We are excited, super excited. Not because we're back in studio, but there's a lot of boxing to talk about. And you know what? Episode 108. It's been a while, like they say. Am I saying it right? A while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, as the cool kids say.
We've been here in the studio, and we're pretty excited to be back. Thank you, Spider. You warm welcoming.
Spider.
MZ Studio in Dallas.
I missed you.
Represented as always. And we are back. Lots of boxing to talk about. And Gringo, always from our virtual environment, still plugged in the backbone, as you guys know, of Long Live Boxing. Papi, ¿qué tenemos hoy? What do we got this weekend? What's happening, bro?
You've been working out. You look a lot lighter, bro.
Look at you.
Yeah, I've been hiding from the Fed. Call me out. Now they know where I'm at.
Tell me about it.
But no, it's an exciting time. I know we say that all the time, and sometimes we're not necessarily being completely honest.
Oh, we are.
This time, for real.
We're for
this
real.
time is for real. We're kicking off 18 weeks of nonstop, great, exciting boxing times.
No, it is.
Damn.
Back to back, and it's gonna be not just hyperbole and woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's gonna be actual fights, starting with this weekend with 4-card weekend in your mouth with the stiff jab.
En tu boca.
Yay! So we're really excited, and it's kicking off early in the morning in the AM. So yeah, we're definitely excited, and we're going to talk about obviously this weekend, but also talk about just the month in general. And we said 18 months, but the month is El Fuego, as they say in the streets. Hot fire.
El Fuego.
Fuego y sin extinguidor. Ya lo sabe.
So, I mean, let's just go ahead and get to it. So we have this exciting weekend with these great 4-fight card coming up. You got Triple G Murata to kick things off in the AM. No, you're excited. We'll talk
very
about
excited.
I mean, can you imagine right now? We're at studio, we're
Triple
back, and
whack.
it's like Triple G.
and it's actually
It's that energy. I mean, it's like we haven't heard that from quite some time. So I just gotta.
He's still around.
Let it sink.
I didn't realize he's still around.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't fought since 2020, and that's not even an exaggeration. I'm talking December even. So it's been a minute, and you're not going to ask me to say his opponent because, I mean, I could spell it for you, but I can't pronounce it. That fight was stopped, prematurely. The guy was stopped in the corner.
Yeah.
It's pretty uneventful fight, to be honest. It was kind of like one of those filler fights that people have been accusing Triple G of. Yeah. So people have been saying Triple G's pretty much been holding out for a certain
Baby.
and he's gonna get it. So, but until then, he has to prove himself by Murata.
Ryota Murata in Japan.
He's the Japanese cash cow, baby.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wake up early for that one if you
I got my alarm set up for
Triple G.
4:47.
Man, that's the time I wake up for work anyways. Well, on Saturdays it is. On Saturdays I wake up a little later. 6 o'clock.
But you'll be waking up Saturday morning. right?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll be
so-
waking up to go to
Right.
work. Yes, sir.
Well, you ain't working Saturday though.
Yeah, I work.
Oh, you do?
Monday through Saturday.
Damn.
Yo soy pobre. Yo soy pobre.
Ah, todos
See,
somos
let's-
chingados.
That's not it though. There's more. There's more. Also, you have a card in San Antonio, Texas.
Woo!
The return.
Man.
Return of Ryan Garcia.
Wow.
Emmanuel King,
Tago?
African King
Emmanuel Tago.
Emmanuel Tago, with our man Javier Centeno in the corner, making it do what it does. And they're fighting at what weight?
A catch weight.
135 pounds. I mean, that's
You might as well get ready for Josh
there.
Taylor.
I mean,
or,
exactly.
yeah,
Right.
Jose Ramirez. Ryan, what are you doing, bro?
Ryan do what Ryan does. But you know what? Don't get disappointed because there's more. There's more. Then there's another card on Showtime. You have
the best matchup of the weekend.
You think so?
You think so? Fundora?
Yes. Erickson Lubin and
I'm,
Sebastian Fundora.
I'm curious to
In
hear-
terms of
to hear-
competitive nature, well, I mean, you gotta give, I guess, Ryota Murata a little more credit than that.
No,
but
I
think
agree
in
with
terms
you.
of like 50-50 fight, I think Erickson Lubin versus Sebastian Fundora is probably the best matchup, more bang for your buck.
Okay. All right.
No, yeah. I mean, when you said it initially, I was like, whoa, because I have like a default system to disagree with both of my brothers. But when I thought about it, I was like, damn.
The first reaction is to disagree. Always.
First reaction
Always,
is
as
disagree.
always.
It could be even say like, hey,
Nothing
let's go.
changes in
I
this
can't even say that
in this
the sun is
scenario,
hot.
guys.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, nah, the sun ain't hot.
It's not that.
It's not wet.
It's only 106 degrees. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
No, but seriously, yeah, I think he's right, Manny. We got to, a winner is a winner. Ain't the winner chicken dinner.
Winner chicken dinner. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and then of course, Michaela Mayer and a big fan with Jennifer Hahn.
Jennifer Hahn. Oh man,
So-
I'll have to confess something, Gringo. When I posted on Facebook the other day, I completely forgot about Michaela Mayer versus Jennifer Hahn, and that's
And
my
you love her.
fault. And she's
love
of course she's what's not to love about her? But she's a great fighter. You know, she looks, you know, all right.
She
she
a little nice on the eyes.
she
little
look
eye
nice on the eyes, but
Oh
yeah. So Michaela Mayer versus Jennifer Hahn. I'm excited for that one too, man. It's gonna be a busy night.
It is.
So it's definitely going to be
all
a busy-
all day. Damn.
All right. So
Which one
let's
are
go
you guys
ahead.
watching live, and which one are you recording?
You know,
Whoa.
I honestly got plans to really wake up, like I said, at 4:47.
For sure. Well, that one's not competing
4:45 because
the
that's
other
when
ones.
my alarm would go on and I'll snooze for 3 minutes. 4:47. But anyway, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna watch that live. It's been a while that we haven't seen like a sport
Triple
like that.
G.
I think that the last time I woke up and put my alarm to see sports was like when the World Cup was like in the morning. It was like I gotta watch
In Korea?
Yes, exactly. So I mean, this is great. I think it's difficult for a lot of boxing
Nonito
fans to
Donaire?
get up. Yeah, to get up in the morning and watch some of these fights, but I think
When
this
he
is
fought,
great for boxing. I mean, something different.
The monster.
Yeah, and that's the house backyard. Sean called it earlier. Supposedly, Murata is actually cash cow, whatever they say.
In
He's very
Japan.
popular over there. But I think we got great other fights, local from Japan as well that are pretty interesting also. So overall, yeah, definitely. I look forward to see Ito as well. I mean, why not? I know it's going to be a good fight. Also, him coming back, Masayuki Ito. So overall, besides that Tacoma event, the main event, GGG, and also Murata, Saturday starts with a really, really good cock. And I'm gonna take Nancy's advice. I'm gonna start my coffee and my Baileys and see how that goes.
shout out Nancy for
Woo! Oh yeah, shout out to the HCP 100 episode yesterday, my friends. Congratulations. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. We had an awesome time last night, breaking it down, like it is as a fan perspective.
Absolutely, man. Much love and respect to them. So, going into it, I'm gonna dive in head first, because I know my brother about to unleash the Kraken on me. But I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited that it's not a part of us, going against the other cards, because to be honest, I am excited to see Triple G against even though Murata hasn't been in the ring since 2019, he's still a threat, man. He's got power, and you never know. Father Time's undefeated.
Olympic champion?
Gold medalist. And Triple G still is 39 years old. I don't know
He's
if
going to
you
be
guys knew.
40 on fight night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he'll be 40 by fight night, so.
Yeah. So, there's always some kind of concern as far as like, what are we going to see? He hasn't fought in over 2 years. And for Murata, it has been almost 3 years. So it's a lot of unknowns going to that fight. It could be some ring rust, farther time kind of going in and out. But, from what I'm seeing, hands down, and, like our brother Hopper always says, follow the smoke in terms of when you go into Vegas, and the money's big time all over Triple G on this one. The big trauma show in Japan, it seems to be pretty much a foregone conclusion. But Hopper, is that how you feel?
Well, of course, I definitely want to see how Triple G looks before Canelo retires him in September. So,
oh wow,
I want to see how.
Yeah, you sure about that?
I want to.
Gringo, you gonna let him start the show like that? I mean,
he doesn't believe it.
Come on.
Sean said it was 1-1.
You got to bet
1-1.
You got to bet almost $500 to make $100 in this fight. And
it's fine. It's not bad.
If you bet a little money on Murata, you win $100, gets you $300.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So, nah. I still expect Triple G to pull this one out.
Okay.
Right. Maybe even if it's by the hair of his chinny chin. But he's actually, so he needs to be careful though. He's in Japan, so he's a hero over there. Murata is.
Yeah.
No, he definitely is. So that was one thing that I had commented before, and I've been thinking that. When you think Triple G, well, I mean, you think knockout, stoppage.
Beat by Canelo?
So, I don't think that. I don't think anybody thinks that. But, I do think.
Not even in the second fight?
No, we're going to talk about that. That fight doesn't count. But I do think that, there's a strong possibility of a short night. There's no overtime in boxing, and Triple G definitely does know that. So that was something that is obviously in the forefront of my mind. But at the same time, with those issues, those X factors as far as age, ring rust, just kind of the unknown, being in the foreign land and all that going on, in the background. And, there's going to be a big fight over there. I was saying on the HCP, it's going to be a crowded. I don't know how hyped they'll be. In Japan, it's kind of more of a reserve crowd, but it's 36,000 people going to be in attendance for this fight, so it's a big event.
And it's gonna be a short night. I mean, I think you're right, Gringo. I think Triple G is gonna make pretty easy work of Murata, because I mean, you look at Murata, he's lost to Rob Brandt, and he lost to Hassan Njakum. He lost. He came back and avenged it, but he's stepping up to something that he's never seen before in his career. Triple G, even at his advanced age, he's still an incredible athlete. He trains, and takes care of his physique like athletes should at that age. And I think Murata, he's definitely fighting him when he needs to. Like we said, Golovkin's going to be 40 years old. But even then, I see Triple G knocking this guy out, man. 8 rounds or less. I don't think Triple G is going to have to work too hard. And because especially if you see the writing on the walls, where you read the writing on the walls with what Jonathan Banks, his trainer, has been saying, that, and even Abel Sanchez, his ex-trainer, that Golovkin is effective when he's aggressive. When he's trying to box, that's when he gets in trouble. And, stick to what you know. Oh. And then you're in Japan, and Jonathan Banks kind of alluded to something like, business knockouts. I mean, business. So
well, he's gonna have to really do something different.
He's gonna have to
explode.
He's gonna have to. And I don't even think he has to try too hard, because Murata, again, yes, credit to him, Olympic champion, a world champion, but Triple G's just.
He's also got something very important behind him, and that's the backyard.
That's true. That's true.
He's got the fans.
Guys,
he's an Olympic medalist, and he is the guy that he can definitely make a difference in the first 5 rounds. If you think about, and I'm glad you touched base on some of those opponents, which when you think about and looking at the resume aspect of it, just like, okay, who he has fought, no one. Absolutely, we agree with you. He has never seen the talent of Triple G, even a faded out Triple G, which a lot of people called out because he's old age. No, I don't think so. He's still maintained himself. I am curious, and I want to be able to see that. But when you think about what he does at the beginning, I can guarantee you, in my eyes, he will never knock out Triple G in 5 rounds. But what he's lacked on, and look at the resume, he's lacked on the distance. That's where he has had the 2 losses with some of the guys that, maybe a little bit less level that Murata was at the time he fought.
Yeah.
And, Hopper touched base on Robert Grant and Hassad Nadam. So for me, yes, I think he's going to be very difficult to be knocked down in the first round. I am actually predicting a later stoppage because of the fact that I don't think Murata can be that difference maker in the distance. And I think that's where Triple G has known himself for being a brawler, having a lot in his tank, and being able to still have some power in the later rounds.
Yeah.
So, it's great to see a unification bout like this, but not with the caliber of an opponent. As Murata, not disrespect him, but the reality is we got to expect a win against, pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing Murata has going for him is the hometown crowd. Now, you ask any trainer, any boxing trainer, they will tell you, guys that fight in their hometown, sometimes they fight way above their average, way above what they're used to. Ask these professional boxing trainers, they'll tell you. They'll see some of these guys fight in their hometown, and they ask themselves, how is he doing this? He's fighting way above what they're used to seeing because they get pumped and they get excited from the hometown crowd. Now, unfortunately, the Japanese fans, they're not very loud. They're not very boisterous. They're not obnoxiously rude like Americans.
You can feel the sense of what's happening
or British fans.
I think it's more culture.
The Japanese are very, very quiet people. They're the most respectful people. When people say, oh, he's going into enemy territory, relax, bro. He's going into the Japanese crowds. They're so respectful, so polite.
He's going to a library.
Nothing like the Americans or the British
fans.
But
here's my point.
And that's the only thing Murata has is the hometown crowd. But sometimes they feed off that energy. You know? They'll clap. The Japanese fans will definitely clap, and maybe that's all it needs to push Murata over the edge and perform to a level that he's not used to. You know?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think there is a reason why they set this fight out there in Japan. If you think about it, someone that doesn't know a lot of boxing may say, well, hold on. Triple G need to be fighting wherever he wants to fight, maybe Vegas, somewhere around outside. But fights
kind of pull hopper.
I know, right? Fights made in Japan. Man. It's a unification bout. It has a lot of implications. I mean, think about the fact that even you going there, it'll motivate to say, man, this fight can have potentially. Obviously, if Triple G wins, that's going to be with Canelo. But
if he wins, and he'll retire in September. Bon voyage.
He's so sure about that one. You got anything to say about that one? But before you say that,
this has turned into a Triple G show all of a sudden.
Oh yeah,
was this your planning, Gringo? I knew you did
this shit, man. I mean, he's been waiting for this fucking moment for a while. But the reality is what staked behind the whole part of the event is we now have another country where they're building talent. They're shining in the Olympics. They got champions. They got unified champions. And if you look at the card,
the monster.
You're right about that one. If you look at this card, obviously it's built around some of the great Japanese fighters. But, pro debut for two kids, Hiroka and Taiga. I mean, they expect a lot from these kids. I try to kind of look a little bit more about them, but they said that both kids have great potential to get to that level. And then, you have a WBO flyweight world title, and that is Nakatani, the champion, defending, I guess, Yamaguchi, which is another great Japanese fighter. And then on the co-main event, Masayuki Ito, and we know where he's been.
Bless you.
Thank you. So they're trying to build something, and I think for me, this is good for boxing because now we go super international, and then we got Australia now shining with some unification belts, and now for undisputed titles, Japan, Europe, the UK. I mean, talk about Philippines, and then USA. I mean, this is fantastic. This is great for boxing. We got more diversity of different cultures, being able to tap into a sport that needs a lot. Yes, it's corrupted.
What?
Very, very
breaking
corrupted.
News.
Woo! Is that right? Vivo siempre.
No idea about it.
At the same time, man, look what's happening. It's a different motive for every weekend to be able to say, okay, I got to get up early, watch some fights.
So I take it that's the fight you guys are excited about this month?
I'm excited about that. That's
well, I know Gringo is.
That's Gringo is, but that's just the hors d'oeuvres in the morning. I mean, not hors d'oeuvres, breakfast, fucking breakfast. I mean, not even breakfast, coffee and watching fights. I mean, when was the last time you did that?
Well, no, I don't think. Damn. When I had breakfast and watched the fight, that was like live.
No, I mean you probably have lunch with all this, UK fights down over there. Then it's 1 o'clock.
When Nonito fought the monster, it was that was pretty early too.
Well, I did it,
but
I
not
did
too
it.
early.
Yeah.
This was like I want to say 5 o'clock, maybe 5, 6 o'clock. I remember getting up for that. But see, again, that's just the time. My work is unpredictable. I could be up from midnight to 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Right.
So. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I can't wait for Saturday, man. So hopefully Triple G wins and holds up his part of the deal before.
So no, but definitely. I mean, we have to go ahead and put it out there. Can't ignore the pink elephant in the room.
Predictions?
No, not predictions yet. But I do want to talk about the impact of the results, and then we'll go to predictions if you don't mind.
Impact of the results. I know. I'm good about that. I'm curious to see. When you talk about impact, are you questioning Triple G's,
status as an elite fighter?
Yeah. Is that something? Are you just are you trying to break up? Is it?
Wow.
I mean,
you don't love him anymore, Gringo? You don't love him anymore?
I'm talking about Lomachenko, you know me all over the place. I just want to feel that Gringo.
Wow.
I'm like, Gringo, come on, this is it, amigo.
It's a high school romance right here. Gone wrong.
No, I mean, but sometimes things just go unsaid. You know what I mean? That's kind of like anti-podcast. It should be said. But kind of defeats the purpose.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of defeats the purpose a whole lot. But no, I'm very excited about the fight. I'm apprehensive because, again, Father Time is undefeated and things have a way of falling apart. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's been a lot of fights that haven't gone too well for heavy favorites in Japan. I've seen that my whole life. And then that's just kind of, the way the boxing goes. So, talk about sending ripples throughout boxing if that were to happen, man. But, one fight can be totally changed by one punch.
Yep.
And Murata's definitely got power. So that's the thing. So speaking of which, and if that crazy scenario does happen, Eddie Reynoso spoke on it as far as the impact and ripple effect of Canelo's next move. And it's crazy. Yes, guys, listening at home, I mentioned Canelo before Hopper did. This is bizarre.
He had mentioned it already like 10 times.
Seriously,
he mentioned retirement in September for Triple G. Who was that?
I mean, even though a lot of people have been mentioning that and talking about the possibility of September, and it was put out there as far as a multi-contract deal that looked out there as far as for Canelo, Bivol, and then fight Triple G in September, and then possibly a rider later on in December, to maybe have 3 fights within the year. And, hey, you never know. And that is a strong possibility, especially with the new platform addition for DAZN pay-per-view. That's big bucks for them. But I always thought, and I'll continue to, sometimes the best place to hide something is right in broad daylight, because no one really called out the fact that, hey, because my brothers call it all the time. Triple G is Mr. 160, and he's been 160 for like 2 decades. Career.
The entire career. Glued.
What's
concrete?
Hey, bro, there's other weight classes, bro.
Yeah, really? No way. What do you mean? There's a south and a north.
They can go 154 to 168.
Oh no, me.
No. Me. Okay, big drama show. Big drama show. At
I don't want to touch his name.
That's for other people to worry about. One, stay in your lane. Triple G.
Stay in the lane. Oh, that's too long. It's like a train. Nothing going anywhere else.
For me, though, I thought
Marvin
that
Hagler only stayed at 160 pounds too. So.
Hey, rest in peace. I always thought that there was no realistic. I thought that was a placeholder. And Hopper, what's your thoughts on that? When I say placeholder, in terms of announcing that possibility of that third fight, because to me, I was like, okay, it's a name, and obviously casuals will be all over it. It's a moneymaker. It satisfies a lot of the contractual agreements that DAZN has dealing with, Triple G. But from the fan perspective, especially how the stars are aligned for 175, do you even think that this is a possibility, win or lose, as far as Eddie Reynoso's comments that a loss would open the door for 175? You think 175 is on the table irregardless?
Well, here's the thing about this, Gringo. I think what Canelo's doing, always when something is released, when a comment is released, first thing I ask myself is timing. It's why would they do this? Why would they say this now, or why would they do this at a certain point in time? Well, Triple G has a fight this weekend.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking Canelo's team with Reynoso are just little mind games, trying to mess with Triple G. Like, hey, you better not lose, or if you do, you're out the picture, bro. Like, it's just
bye payday.
Exactly. No more, gringo.
Damn.
No more payday. No more payday for you, hermano. And then, it's the timing of it all. Sometimes things are said. Sometimes, like, it's an old page from the White House. Like, they would always drop news on Fridays, because bad news on Friday evenings, because nobody cares. It's a Friday. Shit, I don't care. It's the weekend. Whatever.
Yeah.
Forget about Monday. So it's an old White House tactic. Like, you release something a certain week. Like, they're doing it this week when Triple G fights, just to mess with his head, just to throw him off or something. It's a shrewd move by Canelo's team. But hey, I like it.
No. Well, of course you like it, but hey, but no, seriously, do you think that going with the conspiracy theory of the gringo, do you think that the Triple G fight is a placeholder announcement as far as just overall win or lose, or do you think that fight is going to happen? Because it seems like
if he loses, I think he's out of the picture, because the interest in the Triple G Canelo third fight would be minimal at that point. Even now, people still think Canelo. The majority of the people, you know how toxic boxing fans are. A lot of the boxing fans think Canelo's going to knock him out in September. Well, some of us are, the majority of us. But yeah, even now,
so
if he was to lose,
including yourself on that one?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Okay.
If Triple G was to lose against Murata, interest in the third Canelo fight would be non-existent. There would no way in the world doesn't be able to charge pay-per-view for that fight. So they're kind of telling him straight up, like, "Oh, you lose, you're out of there. No payday for you." So the fight.
No, that's a good point. So what about, okay, let's say for example, and I like this scenario because I want to make it right now.
Right.
That Triple G, just imagine it right now, just everybody. Triple G goes out there in Japan. It looks phenomenal.
Oh, looks phenomenal.
Well, there, it looks phenomenal. People are like, man, could that possibly, and this is a lot of what if scenario, because that's what we do here. What coulda, shoulda. If he does look great, and then, Canelo, let's say Canelo wins convincingly against Bivol in a very difficult fight. And then, Bivol, though Beterbiev destroys Smith and Joe Smith, and that's not, going to be easy. And that's, sets up the undisputed at 175. So that's a lot of woulda.
That needs to happen, man.
That happens though, because these aren't, these fights are all confirmed. That's the thing. They're all confirmed. They're all locked in. They're all set up. And they're a part of that 18-week excitement gauntlet that we talked about earlier in the beginning of the show. So when that happens, does that change as far as the trajectory of interest? Because boxing fans are, fickle or toxic, however words you want to use. Where do you think that because it's all about money too. And it also, Canelo has aspirations as far as, to really make his mark. Obviously he has some true hatred. I don't think he's acting at all. I'll give him that. He hates Triple G, so he hates Triple G. So obviously he would like to stop him and, check that box, but also to beat somebody that people have been questioning for some time now. And a guy that is looked at as a feared guy in, Beterbiev, Artur Beterbiev. Which fighter would you rather him go against, and which mark do you think is more important for you as a fan, and just kind of the pulse of, Canelo fans in general? Because honestly, I don't know.
Manny?
Asking me or Hopper?
Hopper.
Okay.
I was trying to see if Manny wanted to get a word in.
No, I mean,
his usual Canelo hate. I'm cherry picking.
No, I'm just here. I'm just here listening and waiting to respond.
See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Everyone's behind.
Okay, so we'll definitely want to hear Manny's response.
No, but see, here's the thing with Canelo. All right, here's what he's doing. A lot of people are quick to bash Canelo for whatever personal reasons you have against him, but he's the only one that went up to fight the boogeyman in Triple G, and now he's going up again to fight possibly the boogeyman in Beterbiev. Come on, man, that's fucking cojones. And I think the Beterbiev and Joe Smith fight, the winner of that fight, is definitely on the table for Canelo. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, because I can't see Triple G losing against Murata. So I think it'll happen maybe sometime next year for sure. And to answer your question, Gringo, yeah, I would love to see him fight Beterbiev, even though that's a super dangerous fight for Canelo, and he could easily get knocked out in that fight. He could lose against Bivol.
Yeah,
he could
definitely
easily lose against Bivol because
That's a
Bivol is
50-50
very
fight.
technical, and you know how we always say in boxing, the better, bigger, skilled guy will always beat the smaller, skilled guy. It's just
Yeah,
that's just how it goes.
that's just kind of how things are. You
Yeah.
know, that's how things line up.
It's
And it's definitely, to me, you know, in fairness and respect to the other opponents that Canelo's had, especially recently on his recent run, the 168 run, this is his best opponent to date. You know, the Bivol fight. I know there are a lot of people that have
really, you rate him over Triple G?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow! Whoa, something must have really happened with you and Triple G, huh?
I want to talk
You want to talk
I
about
should talk about it. I mean, that's why we're here. Okay, so we got to get the response from my brother because I know he's there chomping at the bit. His eyes are all glazed over. He can't wait to respond.
He's ready. Cherry
Man,
picker Canelo.
Come back to you, slap you with whips everyone.
Okay, here he is. Manny
Cachetada. Manny Cachetada Marrero.
Oye,
EnVivo. Ay.
vivo.
All right, brother. So lay it on us. Okay, so
Give it to us.
we talk about the roadmap of Canelo, and it's crazy how a Triple G show turned into a Canelo show.
They're intertwined. They're intertwined. They're going to be
Yeah, they're
synonymous with each other.
Yeah, but they may never fight again, which is weird.
No.
So what's your thoughts? What do you want to see? What is better for boxing? And what's the outcome you're hoping for that you think would satisfy the palate of, you know what, let's be selfish. What do you,
gets knocked out.
Knockout by B-Ball. B-Ball wins by knockout. First round. No, just
Wow.
No. Listen, when
Clip.
you have, I know, Clip. When you have, when you are in the position of Canelo, you are entitled to, create your own roadmap. Where you want to go? What do you want to do? And it's going to be all for your best interest. But you also have the right to also, hey, listen, like he said a few months ago, you guys go settle shit down there. And when it's settled, and I'm talking about 154, 160, unification, there's some guys that need to be fighting each other and they're not fighting. We want to see them fight. It's not happening. So he has the right to talk about those things. And he has the right to say right now, I'm an undisputed 168-pounder. And what's next? I know for a fact that a lot of Triple G fans, so Sean, they've been dying to see a third. I mean, honestly, I had to go back again and see a couple of those fights, and I still have it 1-1. So, I know my brother here will probably look at me and say, he's looking at me already. He's saying, what the fuck are you watching?
Hater.
What are you drinking? But the reality is people wanted to see this fight. Is the fight on the right time? I don't know. I should have seen this fight a while ago. But I'm still excited about to see this fight because that's going to bring more into the sport of boxing. Boxing needs this kind of stuff. It might be not relevant, and it might be too soon to talk about future fights in where you still have some fights to go through. And if you lose, man, your chances are gone. I hate that. I really hate that. But the reality is that's the way Canelo wants to do it. He's taking a step back and saying, Bertavid's going to fight now. I'm going to fight as well. And you know what? He doesn't have to, but let me settle this fucking shit about this 1-1. I'm 2-0. I'm sure he's thinking that in his head. And I'm going to give an opportunity. I mean, the money's right, and it's good for boxing.
Oh,
Why not? All right? But at the same time, it's up to Triple G. First of all, I need to see him convinced, like beating Murata convincingly. Even if he does that, people are still going to say, Canelo is Canelo. You're absolutely right. But people are going to tune in. They're going to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah,
they're going to be in it. But does other people want to see something different, bigger, happening at the 175? Yeah, a lot of were commenting, he just took Kovalev and took his belt and went out. He was washed out, end of the career. He's coming back. So, I mean, hate it or not, and I'm not thinking he's cherry picking. Remember when I told you let him have the cherry on top?
Oh,
You're entitled to that. Remember that?
Triple G is a cherry on top?
Let him have the cherry on top.
Whoa.
That could be either Triple G or that could be the fact that I'm going to go up there again and fight.
I'm cutting that out.
So people can see, and he's not trying to tell people, hey, look at me, what I can do. He doesn't need to do that, but he's going back and fighting someone that's very dangerous, as Hopper mentioned.
Yeah.
Very skilled, talented, tall. And he could. I don't see him losing, to be honest, to Bivol. But you know what? when we talk about a conversation between Bertbeat and Canelo, and it's not because of hating, this is when I say, whoa. Let me hold on a second. Because that's a different league. I'm sorry. That's a different league.
No, and that's the thing. And well put, my brother, because, irregardless of what people have said or think or believe, good, bad, or indifferent about Canelo, going undisputed at 175 and going through the heart of those, those champions and those top tier guys.
That's legacy, bro.
That's legacy stuff. That's that next level.
Gold
so
stuff.
For me, and I also want to clarify something for the standpoint of being an honorary Triple G fan. Most Triple G fans don't want that third fight. I don't know if you knew this or not, but he's not in his prime. So him going to Canelo would probably not go.
Yeah, and ever since even Gringo Manny, ever since that fight, the second fight, one guy has been fighting undisputed champions or undefeated champions. No. The other guy got pissed off by Dervyachenko in the fight he probably should have lost.
Yeah, no, I admit that.
And who beat Dervyachenko? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Jamal? Are we switching to PBC? They don't have a fight this month, do they? They do. Or Spence fights.
No, so you want to go with quick predictions, then we'll kind of get into I was
gonna see what fights everybody excited.
No, what
about,
I'm saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
what
just
fight in this month, because man, we got a stack.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm honestly, I'm gonna if you talk about
take it away, Manny.
If you talk about predictions now for Triple G and Murata, I don't see Triple G knocking Murata down at the beginning. Murata is pretty strong. He does jab well. He has some power. He does tend to fade later rounds, and we have seen Triple G when he was at his best. He was still hang tough down the stretch, and if he still has some of that juice in the tank, as I always say, I think Triple G will knock down Murata around the 9th round.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I'm calling it.
No upset like when you predicted Algieri over Conor Ben?
Yeah. Oh, shit. That was Gringo's fault. Don't blame me. But, honestly, guys.
No, blame you.
Listen, if we see a first, second, third round knockout, it'll be fantastic because now people are just going to start saying, whoa, Triple G's got some. Right? Still got some. Right? But I think even though if he does a 9th round knockout, I think the interest in Canelo and Triple D is still going to happen. People still want to see it, and we'll see what happens in then. But I need to see a great performance overall by Triple G this weekend for me to say he has a legitimate chance against Canelo in September. Other than that, he will be an Undertaker. Dun, dun, dun. Bye-bye.
All right, so it's late stoppage by Triple G, and then he'll be killed. Okay, so Hopper, what's your prediction on this fight? And then we'll get into my prediction, and then we'll talk about card stacking and some great fights coming up this month in April.
Triple G knocks him out in 4 rounds.
Whoa.
Then he grabs the microphone and he says,
yo,
Canelo, you're next.
Woo!
Just like that.
I don't want to touch his name.
And then I'm going to say,
ooh,
the third fight is on.
Yeah, and you're going to be excited about it. And
the whole boxing world's going to be waiting for Canelo to win his fight, hopefully. And then September is going down.
No, but
it's going to be exciting summer, though.
So
can you believe we're going to start our morning off with this? This is unbelievable. So I love your prediction, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say, so Manny, you said 9. Hopper, you said 4. I'm going to say that it's going to be nip and tuck in the beginning, but then by the $6th round, there's going to be an unbelievable uppercut, Triple G, vintage. He's going to set up with the 1-2, then the 3, then come right up the middle, up the pipe with the high guard by Murata. It's going to be broken through.
I mean, all calculated. Look at that. You got to be a fan to fucking be so calculated.
He's going to hit him with this punch, and then he's going to slip the jab, and he's going to counter, and then he's going to...
That body punch
This is what Triple G does.
He's going to pinch a little bit, and he's going to...
I know Triple G. I'm a Triple G whisperer. My name is Gringo.
I use soup letter, and all the letters are G's.
Only I understand Triple G.
Triple G's fighting. Quiet, please. Oh.
What?
No, 6th round uppercut is a stoppage, and I love what my brother Hopper said, and I agree. I do think that he's going to call out Canelo in the ring. And
Canelo?
Yeah,
or
he's gonna call him
Murata?
out. Why would he call out a guy knocked out? So I think he's gonna.
You're no. You're saying
In your face, man.
You saying he will call Canelo after he wins? I get it.
Welcome to the show, Manny Marrero.
Yo, man. I mean, we're talking about Murata. He's gonna call Canelo. He's gonna get caught, Canelo.
Man, that would be awesome. You know, I just beat your ass, but guess what?
You know what? I want to fight you again so I can knock you out. Damn, Manny, you trying to get that guy killed? Cute.
Murata's gonna be like, hold up, man. Hold up,
Bro, come on, man. Go fight somebody else.
Go back.
Go fight
Episode
that
108.
Mexican guy.
No, but seriously, I think he is gonna call him. Well, in my mind, even if it doesn't happen, in my mind,
It happened.
It's gonna
In my
happen.
mind, it's gonna
Well,
happen.
you know Triple G. He's not a very cocky guy. He's very limited with his words, and he does a great job.
Oh, no, he's
English,
cocky.
But he's not as cocky as others.
man.
But he's probably gonna say, "I'm ready." We've been waiting for it. He's been waiting for it. And
He clearly has. He's been, you know.
I mean, that's
I mean, clearly by the opposition that he has not been fighting or even fighting in general.
because he's just waiting for this.
He just
moment.
wants he wants the payday.
Well, I mean, you know, I just hope he doesn't get Canelo beat by Triple G. Can you imagine that shit? Triple G beating Canelo.
No, hell no. That's not gonna happen,
Dude. I mean,
no.
Slower.
Gringo.
There is.
Can you imagine, Gringo, if
Actually,
Triple
I
G
can't.
beats Canelo?
No, the only way that would. Actually, I can't even say it.
Maybe if
you know?
Canelo hurts himself, go walking into the
like an
ring,
injury.
or he trips or something, or like in the ring he slips
Like he
on
pulls
a
his
corner.
Achilles.
There's a lot of water in the corner, and he slips and fucking tears his knee or something, and he can't continue.
I heard Triple
Or-
G is gonna
or
have.
he has an anxiety attack.
He's gonna have
and
cast.
can't
It's
fight
not
it.
just
He
cast.
has-
Cast like Margarito cast.
I didn't know that Abel Stitches was his corner anymore, and he comes with the chair in the middle of
Yeah.
a wrestling match.
or something. Oh, yeah. I mean,
That would be amazing.
Because ever since their second fight, I'm telling you guys, fighting these guys, you can say whatever you want about these guys, but they were undefeated champions. Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, Callum Smith. I mean, when you're fighting razor guys like that, back to back to back,
and you know
you're
what?
staying sharp. And Canelo's just active. That's a huge reason.
Yeah.
Canelo's active. Triple G's not.
And not only that, man, honestly, I don't think Triple G has ever seen that left uppercut from Canelo in the body or whether he's in the chin. I mean, he hasn't been able to see
Okay,
that
answer
yet.
me. It's just as this. It's the
I mean,
answer for the
honestly,
third fight lies in this simple question.
Woo!
Has Canelo improved? Has Triple G improved?
100%.
Has Triple G improved
No,
since the fight?
negative.com. Yo, we got to be
Which
realistic.
guy's going up,
Yo,
which
and if
guy's
you're not
going
realistic,
down?
man, come on.
We'll have to
You're a
Give me
hater.
break. You got to be
Yeah,
realistic.
answer that. Which
He
guy's
has
gotten better since the
improved
fight?
A whole
Since
lot.
the second fight.
Since
Canelo's
since
best
Mayweather fight, we have seen a different Canelo, and I can't come back and say, oh yeah, he'll be Mayweather now. Mayweather's retired. But what I'm saying is, Canelo has been a completely different beast after that. He learned that he's more
honestly,
defensive. He's aggressive. He's much better power punching, and he's got a lot of different combinations can get you anywhere. I mean, look at Billy Joe Sanders. We all thought that Billy Joe Sanders was going to do a lot better than what he did, and he did really good.
He's got his face
To
broken.
me, this is my opinion, and again, haven't always been the biggest appreciator of Canelo, but I love the running.
Hater.
But I think, to me, where I've noticed the increased ability and skill, especially defensively, it's when he fought Daniel Jacobs. Like, his defense went to another level, and I think that's really helped him as far as fine tune. And he's just a wrecking ball right now. I don't think anybody
Smarter, wiser, IQ level went to 120.
Chin's still there.
My concern for him as far as a boxing fan is he wants that legacy and flying too close to the sun. Like, 175 to me is he's at the sun. Like, he's looking at it. He's right next to it.
He's rotating around the
Kid Icarus
sun.
with the wax.
What is
wax
it? What is it?
handles.
I would love to ask him a question. What is it that interests you to go back to Triple G? Is it just more about you feel like a
Money.
sparring session and money? But he doesn't need it. Anywhere he could fight somewhere else besides Triple G. He can fight Benavidez and get the same amount of money.
I think because they signed
don't know
what
about
was this deal? Did he sign with the Zone and Match?
Yeah, he did the Zone 2 fights.
2 fights.
2 fights.
Massive, almost 100 million or
and you know
around
the
that
Zone,
ballpark.
the Zone and Triple G
And
as
the
well.
Zone, if he wants to Bivol,
I get it.
the Zone is the only, probably the only person in or entity in this whole platform, and anybody that wants this fight is the Zone. They've always had a hard on for the third fight. That's why they signed Triple G. That's why they signed Canelo, because they thought this fight could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, off when
It's
the
great.
big deal had really kind of kicked off is when the second fight was ended. So around, they fought in 2018 and 2019. That's when things kind of were put together. The fight just never came to fruition, and now here we are, 2022. So, obviously it's going to be a big drama show in Japan, and man, it's just kind of ultimately going to be a great way to kick off a great stretch. So speaking of a good stretch, the good, bad, and different of boxing, got to talk about these 3 other cards and make time with my brothers real quick. So it's no joke. You literally guys can look it up. If you look at DAZN, their card, if you look at with the other DAZN card, where I'm talking about, Ryan Garcia to go, and you look at, the estimated time of the main event. If you look at the estimated time for Top Rank, and you look at Michaela Mayer versus Jennifer Hahn, the estimated time for, the main event. If you look at Showtime, the estimated time for Lundy versus Fondora, you look at, it's all the same.
Lubin.
Lubin. Is look at
Hank
11:15
Erickson Lubin
Eastern.
So
11:15
10, 15. Yep.
Yeah, so that's 10:15 Central Time for all of them. So here's to my brothers, and then we'll get into just kind of like the whole month and just how awesome it is. What is the deal with card stacking? Is there a responsibility, you guys think? First, my brother Hopper, as far as, do promoters need to be more considerate on? And then logically, I'm thinking, like, why go head to head with competitors, or that's just the way business is? There's no obligation to the fans, or you just think it's just stupid? And there's been like weeks of nothing. Why just forcing the content on one specific day? What's your thoughts about the whole thing? And does it matter? Or
and thing about it is that boxing, and it's just it leads to a bigger issue in the sport of boxing, because you basically have all these smaller entities that could care less about the other side of the street in boxing. They're all just focused on themselves. And I'm talking about the promoters and the networks. They can give 2 shits about what's going on over there. They're going to focus on their own. They're going to strategically place these fights in cards in places that I would think that would sell. Triple G and Murata in Japan. Ryan Garcia in San Antonio, against Tago. He's done decent numbers in Texas.
And he's got a lot of African community behind him as well. So I mean, love it or hate it, the promoters, they're really not going to put they care about the fans, of course. They don't necessarily care about other promoters. Like they could care less.
Okay.
They could care less about.
I think they care about the expansion and bringing their sport and their talent worldwide, and that's what they're doing. If you think about it right now, how many people are going to get DAZN in Japan?
I was going to say,
but not only they get Murata, because you already got DAZN, right? And you bought it. Let's say you're from Japan and let me just purchase it right now. I'm going to see Triple G Murata. But guess what? Later on, you'll have more other fights that you can take advantage. So now they're attracting a whole different country, and they're going to still be following, and that's what they're doing. And I think it's brilliant because, I think the more exposure we get, the more fans are going to start attracting and consuming and watching the fights or going into the fights and rooting for their favorite fighter. And then, the African and, you got the Mexican community, Puerto Rican, Filipino, Australia. My goodness. I mean, just think about this. So, man, I mean, this is great. Stacking the cards is giving more value for the money. And I think that's what DAZN's always been doing. And doing it one day, 2 fights in one day.
Ultimately, though, at the same time, it's like, it's a good problem to have, especially in this month of April, because there's a lot of fights going on. So there's very limited dates. So I think at the same time, promoters just have to, they have to do what's best in their interest, not necessarily, with the fans' interest in mind as much as they can. But at the same time, they got a business to run, and fuck it, all these fights, we get them more watching. But at the same time,
then you got sponsors.
They're not dumb. They're not going to go up against a Canelo.
No.
Like, if you look, you're right, nobody's going up against Canelo. You're fighting on Canelo's day, you're out of your damn mind. Like, even April 16th, like, Errol Spence has that day to himself. Conor Benn fights in the afternoon, and so does Jason Cunningham, in the British, but that's on the other side of the world. Like, nobody's fighting against Errol Spence. So promoters aren't dumb. They just put the fights that they think they can do well against other guys. Like Triple G's fighting in the morning, Ryan Garcia's fighting in the evening, and Ryan Garcia's probably going to draw more eyeballs than Unfortunately, even though I think Erickson Lubin and Sebastian Fedor is the best matchup of the weekend, and in terms of Michaela Mayer and Jennifer Han, I'm sorry, but just women's boxing, when you're stacked up against a fight like that, and
I don't think the promoters
they're not gonna. Yeah, so I think Bob Arum and Top Rank in that regard are doing a disservice to Michaela, because I mean, come on, realistically, are you gonna watch that fight? Are you gonna watch that fight live?
No, not live.
Are you gonna watch that over Ryan Garcia or Erickson Lubin?
Nothing against
Gringo.
I am gonna have a picture-in-picture.
Well, Gringo's sexist all the way. So
yeah, I'm gonna be between. I really want to see Ryan Garcia how he comes back. I definitely want to do that. So. I definitely. I think
they're the losers in this situation.
You touch base on that, and I think Fundora and Lubin, that fight needs to be. Erickson Lubin, that fight needs to be
the best matchup of the weekend.
Matchup, absolutely, I agree with that. But also as well, people, it's gonna be so. Simple in the morning, get them in through the noon part of it, and then a lot of boxing people are going to tune in. They're going to be flipping back and forth. And honestly, yes, I just don't think Top Rank had it right in this occasion.
Okay, so as they say, my beautiful daughter would say, keeping that same energy. So we are talking about a female card, same month, moving forward, April 30th. Now, it was interesting. I know he's not your favorite person, Tim Bradley. He mentioned card stacking, and he actually called out his employer, and he said that he would hope that, well, actually he didn't. He was saying that he would hope that DAZN would have the main event, Serrano versus Katie Taylor, be earlier in the day so that people can watch Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. Now, honestly, let's be very real, brother. And I know it's touching a soft spot as far as what the fight means to you and Amanda Serrano and the importance. Significance. But being real and being, totally transparent with the people listening and those that are going to be watching, to me, if they're going head to head, I'm definitely going Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. So from that standpoint,
it depends. That's you, but
that's just me though. But I'm saying for you, if they're going head to head, or do you think is that where maybe kind of like we look at this weekend, you think that some people may miss out, just kind of saying, even though it's just not another female fight, it's the women's boxing event of the last 10, maybe 20 years.
No, they're gonna miss out, and it's sad to think about that, because we in this show had talked about how we must continue to promote some of these fights, women's fights, because it's growing a lot, and there's a lot of potential, and there's two major fights this weekend, overshadowed by everything else, and then you have, I would say, in the history of female boxing, the biggest fight ever made in Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. This fight's been wanting for a while, and I can't just see myself thinking that I have to pick from someone else not to watch Amanda Serrano. Yes, Puerto Rican, yes, I'm a fan, but the reality is we got to be able to see history in women's boxing. So hopefully that day there's nothing else going on, but if you have to pick and choose between one and another, that it all depends who you're rooting for and what you stand for. In my case, I'm sticking with Serrano and Katie Taylor. I would hate to lose watching, Stevenson. My God, Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. I mean, this is something that people have wanted to see for the longest. Two greatest when it comes to the super featherweights. They've beaten the best. And then you got a superstar as Shakur Stevenson that he is just starting his career, and he's probably going to end up to being 7-division champion. Who knows?
I mean,
wow.
I mean, he's 2 right now.
He's going.
I mean, you go to Pacquiao. He could be a Pacquiao. So Pacquiao started at 154. No, he could get 154. I mean, who knows?
55.
I know, right? But anyway, so you would hate to really start. Oh my God, brainstorming to see what am I going to fight or what am I going to root for, and that's the beauty about having a computer and get your channels in there, and also having your TV and your PIP, and then just clicking back and forth flashback to see the other fights. Showtime, I'm gonna definitely have to tune into that one. So that's gonna be between Ryan Garcia. I'm hoping that Ryan Garcia, any of the fights finish in a knockout. So that way I can just easily transition to the next fight without having any remorse.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? But
No, and that's a great point. And I know that's, a huge, significant fight. And for anybody listening, I know we have a great support for those that, been checking us out for years now, especially from the Puerto Rican boxing fan base. And, we're actually very excited. So I don't want anyone to think that we're sliding on that fight. But just being honest, for me, Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez is a fight I can't miss. I'm honestly. Hopper, what's your thoughts on that? Kind of going to the card stacking. You have two huge fights on the same day. Is there, at that point, obviously business is business, and you focus on putting the best foot forward, should there be any consideration for the other card on that day because of significance? And should they go head to head? What's your thoughts on it? What do you hope for? And what's your plans if one is played, at the same time?
All right, well. There's a lot of unwrapping that question right there, Gringo. I mean, a lot.
Oh,
yeah. Layers upon layers upon layers.
Hey,
what's up, champ? How are you?
Hey. A little bit.
Nice to interview you
as well.
So, but no, seriously, like the whole month of April is stacked, right?
Yeah.
We have big names. We have Triple G, Ryan Garcia. We have Errol Spence fighting. We have Tyson Fury fighting. I mean, we have this month that's stacked for fans.
Yeah.
But the best
Carlos Castaños.
The best is saved for last.
Yeah.
The best, April 30th, we have Fierro, Oscar Valdez, against the skillful, brilliant technical boxer who's shown a little more aggression lately, Shakur Stevenson. And in the same day you have probably the biggest. Is it hyperbole? Am I exaggerating when I say?
No, you're not, because I hyped it up. I said
Katie Taylor, the biggest women's victory.
The biggest women's.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Now,
that's 20 years for sure.
Okay, for sure. The only fight off the top of my head that I can say in women's history that's probably drew a lot of attention or drew a lot of eyeballs was Laila Ali against Joe Frazier's daughter, Jackie Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
I was in high school for that one, so I remember that. I remember that one vividly because that was the first main event pay-per-view between two women, and now this one right here, Amanda Serrano. And against Katie Taylor, you're talking about Olympic champion, boxing professional champion against the seven division champion in Amanda Serrano. Shit, but it has the unfortunate going up against Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez. My goodness, what a night! Those kind of fights. Honestly, I'm gonna have two TVs going. Yeah. I don't think I don't think I'm gonna be able to miss one. No, definitely, yeah. For any other time, because the promoters do this all the time. They stack their cards. They're stacked them this weekend. I'll watch one. I'll focus on one and then watch the other ones. Because you can't channel flip a fight. You're gonna miss something.
No, you're wrong.
You're gonna miss a half a round. You're gonna miss a complete round. But for April 30th, I will have two TVs. For watch one, if they fight at the same time, I will be watching both at the same time. I'm not gonna miss a round, and at that point, I've trained myself, my peripheral vision, to focus on both fights. I have one eyeball
like a ninja
on each fight. I will be tuned in. No, there's absolutely no way. I'm not gonna miss either of those fights live. I'm not gonna rewatch it. I'm not gonna record it and watch it later. I'm not. I'm gonna watch both of them at the exact same time. How live they're going.
I'm gonna focus more on Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor for a little bit.
Of course, yeah. Papi, boy, Puertorriqueño, el chico.
Oh yeah, but Chacul's got part of Puerto Rican do there, so no.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, I would take credit for that too if I was Puerto Rican. The way Parsons going, Of course. Hey, shots fired.
No, man, here we go again.
Here we go.
Back in studio. But, I missed you, man.
I just don't understand what are they thinking. But on the other hand is how ballsy it is, and how people are excited to wait to finally continue to see Amanda Serrano under Jake Paul. And everything that's happening in Puerto Rico with him and all the attention they get. And I think that's brilliant for especially that weekend.
Shout out to Jake, for that, man.
He's
definitely, man.
He's
probably taking Amanda Serrano where she needs to be.
Not only that, both of them, even Logan Paul, fighting the other day. Was it
WWE? He was in WrestleMania.
I mean, he's fighting from Dorado, Puerto Rico.
He was fighting the Mysterios.
They're actually fighting. They're actually being represented from Dorado, from the Puerto Rico. I mean, I'm fighting out of So that's really cool. I mean, that's great. That's bringing, something additional to the sport that a lot of people criticized me at the beginning, but I had no issues if you're committed to the sport and you train well and you are successful. Why not being a YouTuber? Why not being a doctor? Why not being someone else out of a professional boxer that you want to join to be boxing and you do it exceptionally well? What's the problem with that? So this is the positive. If you guys were thinking about that, this is the positive right now. Is where we're gonna have Madison Square Garden, Amanda Serrano, I would say 85% Puerto Rican, and they got the Irish.
No, it's not gonna be 85%.
I gotta say 85. Maybe I exaggerated, but from 80 to 85% will be Puerto Ricans.
70-30 is probably fair, but the Irish will come out 60-40.
She's a national. I mean, that's another thing.
She's a national treasure for sure. But
we're talking about. Listen, we're talking about Brooke. We're talking about man. We're talking about New York, man.
Look, bro. So, I was there for
women boxing. The best in history.
When Crawford fought Mean Machine, Michael Conlan was in the undercard. The Irish fans. They made their presence felt.
No, I get it. Listen, I was...
And I understand, Miguel Cotto pretty much made the Madison Square Garden Puerto Rican holiday whenever he fought.
It was
sure.
Back in the days, too, and they helped a lot. Camacho.
Definitely.
All of those.
For sure. All of those guys, yeah. But don't discredit the Irish, bro. They're going to be there. They're going to be loud.
Oh, I get it, man. I was able to witness... the press is in Las Vegas the same way.
Yeah.
And then the Irish do show. They travel well, and they show the presence.
They travel well.
They
support their Irish
sure
boxers like some Mexicans, Philippines, Japanese.
So yeah, just kind of to close this out, man. Card stacking, it's part of the business. It's definitely one of those things in boxing that I hate. But you know what? Big props to my brother Hopper, man. Sometimes you got to suck it up and, you can't always get what you want. Sometimes I like to sit down and just watch one card, but something significant as such a historic night because it is, honestly, you have such huge fights. You got to sit back and make the adjustment, and whatever the promoters do is what they did, and we have to adjust to it because you're right.
You're telling me that you're not going to watch
April 30th.
Or you telling me you're not going to watch Best Thing in Women's History in Boxing.
Real talk, bros, April 30th. That's a special day for boxing fans. There's no way. There's no other way around it. You got Shakur against Oscar, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. There's absolutely. There are very. I'm gonna put it like this. There are very, very, very few family events that would get me out of watching this boxing this night. You gotta have if you're getting married, we gotta be close. Like I gotta be your boy. Like homeboy, you're having a quinceañera, man. That better be like this with you. I'm not, it's
put it on wax.
Yeah, it's bro. We better be close for me to miss something like this.
Oh yeah.
No,
and there's gonna be a lot of love from Puerto Rican, boxers, former legends. I mean, I can see that stadium going packed. Of course, we're definitely gonna see Berlanga.
It's gonna be a huge night, and I don't want to, not give it its full appreciation and credit. So. Don't want to be assumptive either to my brother Manny. So Hopper, you've already said, so the biggest fight to you, even though it's a significant night collectively, and this is total respect because it's an amazing month. I can't stress that enough. But you feel that Shakur Stevenson Rivera versus Oscar Valdez is the biggest fight of the month. It's a stacked month. Is it the biggest fight of the month to you as far as enjoyment, level of competition, the intrigue going into the fight? Just as far as this level of skill, when you think just the top of your mind, the fight you can't miss, and you kind of already alluded to that, the significance of the night as a whole, but is that fight the fight for you in April? And that's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot because you have Spence against Ugas, Fury against Dillian Whyte. You have all the cards this weekend with Ryan Garcia, Erickson Lubin, Sebastian Fundora. But yes, Oscar Valdez against Shakur Stevenson, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. That's the night. That's it for boxing fans.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. That's it.
So you see those as okay. That's a great point. So you see those as a equal. Those two collectively are the best.
Yeah, because Oscar Valdez has been taking a lot of heat, and Shakur has made no light of it. He's kept mentioning it that he feels Oscar has kind of been ducking him. And if you've been following closely, yeah, Top Rank kind of does have that track record of keeping the Hispanic fighters away from certain fighters. Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis to come to mind. But, I mean, and then Oscar Valdez finally says, nah, you know what? Nah, bro, let's get it. He's fighting Shakur Stevenson, bro. Come on, man.
No, I mean, ultimate props, irregardless. And that's the thing. Like, even people that I know are big detractors, haters, talking about, herbal tea and all that. Everyone's got big props and respect for those guys. So,
getting it on for the fans, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the winner of that fight, you just put yourself in a whole another stratosphere than what you're used to, man.
Oh, definitely. And I know both fighters have acknowledged that too. Manny, what's your thoughts? And we never want to assume, like we said. So, what's the biggest fight of April, which is a super stack month, kicking off this weekend? What's the fight that you feel like, is
he's gonna pick Conor Ben to make amends?
Clarissa Shield will fight Conor Ben.
Conor Ben. That's
where's this Clarissa Shield
versus Chris Van Heerden.
Okay, so that's a hard one, and I know Hopper kind of answer in a simple way. Both fights they have a lot in stake, and I think it's because Amanda and Katie Taylor. We've never seen that caliber of a fight being made in so many years. This is women's history, and it doesn't happen very often. So it has to be up here. All right. Not I'm saying about when it comes. They're both talented, but when you think about Shakur Stevenson, like we've seen him, he pretty much in its time dominated 126, went up to 130, did it again to division champion. And now he's doing it against one of the best 130-pounder. Being criticized, yes. There's been a lot of, speculations about whether it's whatever he consumed back in the days. Did it trigger something, or is it a distraction? Is it bringing the hype? And that all boils in together. And so it's a must-watch fight. And I can't just sit here right now and tell you, Sean, yes, I'm going to be plugged into Amanda Serrano. I have to. And if you are a fan of boxing, female boxing, whether it's female, whatever, or you're a Puerto Rican trying to grab to pretty much one of the only things we have right now in as a champion in boxing in the female side, of course, we got one champion on the male side, you got to be, I can guarantee you Puerto Ricans will be more plugged into Amanda Serrano than anything else after that. But at the same time, hardcore boxing fans, hardcore, they're going to be just like us, looking at both of them. You don't want to miss the action. I may see some people not caring much about women's boxing. I don't blame them. And they can come back to me, and I've already heard it 3 times. They said, Manny, heck no. I'll be fucking watching Shakur and Oscar Valdez. I don't blame them because there haven't been a lot of exposure to women boxing, and no one really knows about the rivalry and how this fight, it's been wanting for the fans for so many, for a few years already. And it's finally been made. Katie Taylor, hey, strong, 135-pounder. Amanda Serrano, look what she's done, 7 division champion. She's moving back up to a division she was before. And then, all the complications she's got against a tough opponent. And this will separate. This will be like, I would put the winner of this fight, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, I would put them as the female GOAT. So that's why.
Over Ann Wolf?
Yeah.
She might hear you, brother.
That's a topic for another day, I guess.
We apologize on behalf of our show.
Amanda Serrano wins this fight. You don't think
Ann Wolf, please don't knock me out.
But I mean, in terms of
neither of these boxers,
for sure. I mean, I get what you're saying.
I understand what Amanda. I understand what she has done, but right now, we've seen something like this, and you said it. Years ago, what Ali. Layla Ali against Jackie Frazier, and I remember that. I forgot about that fight. Shit, I remember that now, and I was like, "Whoa!" People were excited.
Yeah, people were excited.
We're like, "Whoa, wow, we got to see
daughters of the
exactly,
goats.
Daughters of the goats."
It was billed as Ali Frazier 4.
We haven't seen that. Even Clarissa Shield, Clarissa Shield, she had a glance of like she could be.
She's getting there.
Take away what probably Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano has done. and get that popularity. But let me tell you something. Women boxing is growing, so there's more to come. But I think this will break the ice completely and start bringing more attraction, more major events like this one for women's boxing. And it's exciting. It is really exciting. But in a nutshell, man, fuck, this is difficult. But I have to be watching both. I just hope that, Amanda Serrano fights first and someone waits. We've seen that in the past. Who's going to do that? Who's going to slow down? Who's going to speed up? What kind of fights are going to be knocked out pretty quickly on the prelims and on the undercards to speed up the show? We just have to find out and see what happens.
Yeah, we got to see how it happens, and definitely it's an exciting time for sure. From the standpoint of being a boxing fan, and we are going to be going through a plethora of exciting fights, and no doubt it starts this weekend and going through, and man, April's going to be fantastic. And for me, I think without question, you guys summed it up so well. April 30th, mark it down in your calendars, guys. It's going to be a phenomenal night with Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, and a great fight on Top Rank. And DAZN is bringing it with a great card from Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, where you have Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, and a historic fight, irregardless of how you look at it. If you're a fan of boxing, this is an important fight for you guys to check out. And speaking of going from highs to lows, I know, Hopper, we talk about, some fighters we give crap, and, we even talk about one of my favorite shows we went back is where you had your own personal civil war. We had Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. I love those episodes, man, because I could hear in your voice and the passion. And you've always been a big supporter, and I've been a big detractor of Ryan Garcia. And this time has been very tough for me because I don't believe in kicking people when they're down. I've been down before, but he's trying to get himself back up. What's your mindset going into this weekend? He's already coming at a catch weight. He's changed it to, Goosen, who I have a high respect for. Obviously, he's a legendary cornerman, and he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. What's your mindset going into this fight? I mean, you're excited about it, kind of lukewarm to it, kind of wait and see. What's your thoughts on Ryan Garcia right now and then his career?
Oh, man. It's difficult because you definitely don't want to beat the kid up too much. Mental health is a real thing. Hopefully he's past it and so on and so forth. But, bro, 139 catch weight? That's 9 pounds above what you're normally fighting. I mean, there's really not much to say about that. That means you really haven't been training. You really haven't been focused to boxing. And now that you have a fight, now you want to show up to camp. You know how they say, show up to camp, be ready so you don't have to get ready. And it's looking like Ryan Garcia is showing up to get ready. 139 pounds, that's ridiculous, man. You're my boy and everything, but I got to call you out on that, man. You're damn near 2 divisions above what you normally fight.
139.
Come on, man.
It's 139?
Is that like...
Yeah, that's the catch weight.
Can we
get
but I would love an explanation on that.
Above.
He fights at...
135.
At 135?
Yeah, so he's 139, so it's 4 pounds.
You're right.
He just couldn't make it. Yeah,
above.
Yeah, exactly.
4 pounds above, but still. That's damn near another division then. He should get ready for Ramirez.
No, right. Definitely. It definitely didn't
makes
jump
weight,
out
though, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is going against, even though To-Go hasn't fought in 2 years, he's still a tough opponent. Obviously, he's in that great stable they have at Davie, Florida.
Yeah.
Or they recently moved. So shout out to Javier Centeno and the team they have there. So, I mean, could it be another upset? I mean, you never know. But just overall in general, just that. Manny, what's your thoughts on Ryan Garcia and where he has his career? You frustrated? You tired of talking about him? Are you still giving him a chance? What's your thoughts?
It's the same thing that happened with these Puerto Rican fighters that, all of a sudden they see a huge talent and they're starting tagging him. He's the next golden boy. They did the same thing with Verdejo and whatever crap that happened, and he's the next Trinidad. And they kind of jinxed him. And I think that's the same thing that happened with Ryan Garcia. Mental issues are difficult, and I'm not going to really touch a lot on that because I could see someone having some issues, and it's not the best thing you can go through. It's a process, and it takes some time. But first of all, you got to be fucking brave to say, I have a fucking issue, right? And I think he did that, and he came up forward to that. And then all of a sudden, he's moving away from a great stable, a championship stable, for whatever reason happened. I don't think things went, they parted ways not on a good way. And so that's also difficult. And then you go to a different trainer, and then on the meantime, what are you doing to stay focused? Because you're going to fight soon. Didn't have an opponent when you changed. Maybe he did. Maybe just the media didn't know about it. Or maybe he's just underestimating his opponent. Or maybe he's just got the opponent, a few months ago. But the reality is you can't underestimate who you have in front of you. And I think a lot of people are still wanted to see who Ryan Garcia is. The last thing we saw about Ryan Garcia was like, what the fuck? This kid is amazing. Getting knocked down like the way he did against Luke Campbell. And then coming back and, just finish him with a body punch.
Right.
And being able to, come back and recover from something like that is what we expect to see out of some of these top elite prospects that are coming up. So it gets us excited. Then things happen. And then you're back at this. And then you're excited again. And then there's going to be a catch weight now. You can't make the weight. So what's the problem? Are we still having some issues? Is it not? You couldn't get to training well? I don't know. It just affects everyone else. And so right now I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm still wanting to see what type of Ryan Garcia are we going to see, right? We send a lot of love to Emmanuel Tago. Love the man. He's very involved in the community, in the African community. He's grinding. He's got only 2 fights in the United States. Actually, this is going to be his second one in the United. I think he had 2 of them. This is the third one. I'm sorry. Third one Emmanuel Tago is going to have in the United States. He had a great performance 2 years ago against Mason Menard. Impressed a lot of people at the 135 pounds. And then he earned a shot. He earned a pretty good payday right now. And I'm not going to say he got lucky. He worked his behind off to do that. Call him the African King. He unbeatable in Africa. Champion out there. And now he's gotten an opportunity to shock the world. You said it, gringo. And guess what? Odds, honestly, what happened to Teofimo and Camboso? We got the same stable. We got people around who are actually pushing and motivating. Sanders Sayas, very close to them. Everyone that goes into Coach Centeno's gym, it's a different atmosphere. It's a different environment. And you know what? You can't rule these things out. And I just hope that Emmanuel Tago, man, buddy, take advantage of the circumstances. What happened? I know it sucks. It's 135. It's not going to happen 139. Is that going to affect you? Is that actually benefit him? I don't know. I'm thinking yes, and it sucks. But you know what? You can't control the things you can't control, right? Just control what you can control. So take advantage of that, and I'm hoping that we can see a great performance. Whether he loses or not, he gets more opportunities. But if Tago loses and Ryan wins, I want to see Ryan convincingly saying, hey, I'm a legit 135, not only future champion, but I'm an ambassador. I am someone who's going to help change lives. I'm a kid that's growing. It's not about the money. It's about the community, the people, the youngsters that are coming up. That's what people want to see. They want to see that kind of champion. And I think that's what they were expecting in Ryan. But I think in maturity, it'll take him a while to grow. But I'm excited to see him back. And Saturday, man, phenomenal with FPH at this time. Complicated.
No, definitely. Complicated is the right word, and well said, both my brothers. I'd say real quick again, I don't want to kick anybody other down. My bar is pretty low as far as expectations, not on him as far as the talent and ability. And of course, he's a machine in regards to marketing himself and putting himself out there as a brand. You talk to any casual, if you ask them to name 3 boxers, Ryan Garcia is probably going to be one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, so he's definitely one of the faces of our sport. So we have to see him rise back up, and hopefully he does. And
it's funny. Sorry to interrupt you, Gringo, but it's funny to say that we've always been breaking down 135 pounds for quite some time. And in Ryan Garcia was the top. Camboso wasn't even there. Now you got to rank Camboso, and Ryan Garcia is kind of like bottom right now for me. Top 4, I would say. Number 4. Before he was maybe a little 3 or 2.
And technically, he's not even fighting 135.
And he's not exactly. What is that? Super Junior lightweight or something?
Yeah, he's made his own division. Division.
Hey, but you know what though? I guess he learned from Canelo. You know what? Canelo weight. It was what? 154? What was the catch weight that they had? 154?
Oh, yeah. Well, like 155 and a half.
154. What did he fight? Yeah, some shit. It was crazy.
Let's just add half a pound. I mean,
it's just that. The Canelo weight.
No, but I know that.
The Ryan Garcia weight.
Speaking of Jamal Charlo.
I knew he learned something. Whoa.
Jamar Charlo wanted, remember, he recently came out 2 weeks ago. He said, yeah, I'll fight Canelo. Keep in mind, Jamar Charlo's already at 160, and he wanted Canelo to go down to 158. Like, come on. That is some shit. Oh, man. Come on, Ryan. No, seriously, I this is not even trying to be funny and not a shot at him at all. I just hope the fight happens, because I think the worst thing that could happen if he has one of the anxiety and panic attacks and he pulls out the fight. I'm not even trying to be funny. I mean, because then I think the Wolves will really come out and
it will. And he's got to look convincing. I mean, if he doesn't, I mean, he should be knocking him down. But if he doesn't, he doesn't look good. I mean, I think his stock's just gonna go.
See, again, I'm not even really concerned about how great he looks. Hopper, are you? I mean,
but so based on what we saw last time, come on, based on what we saw against Luke Campbell, you have to say that, wow, Ryan fucking Garcia. But all this time in between,
dismissing Luke Campbell? Like
I'm not, but that's what I'm saying. Luke Campbell, I know. Luke Campbell,
he just said, Grant, come on, bro, put a little respect on
what
Luke
did he
Campbell's
do, Luke
name.
Campbell? Prolific fighter, great technical. I mean, amazing.
He fought a defeated Luke Campbell against Lomachenko. Yes, he gave it all. And then plus he had the COVID. I'm not making excuses for my boy Luke. That's my boy. But come on, man, put a little more respect on his name. That's not a Joe Schmo. He's fighting.
But that's what I'm saying. Against Luke Campbell, he fought exceptionally well, and he gained the trust to be like, wow, that's right. We want to be able to see him with that kind of level. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not diminishing Luke Campbell. I'm saying Ryan Garcia. Wow. That's what we're going. Gringo say, what do we go for it? We go for the fact of what we saw Ryan Garcia in the last fight. He fought exceptionally well against someone amazing like Luke Campbell. That's sad to see him go because he still can make a huge impact in the sport.
Yeah.
Way to clean that up, Manny. Way to clean that up, brother. All right, so
rewind and listen to what I said, man.
How?
You made your point, sir. You made your point loud and clear. All right, so let's go ahead and go to final thoughts. It's great for you guys to be back in the studio. We love MZ Studios, Irving Tejas. We represent West Dallas in your mouth. If you didn't know, holding it down, Dallas Tejas all the time. So, man, they got a lot of great things going on in the sport of boxing, and one of them is us. So, Hopper, go ahead and what's your final thoughts? Anything you want to say out to the people, our supporters, detractors, anybody out there? You got the last word.
One of the last words. I got to say that. We're back,
it's taking me away.
We're going to be talking boxing. We're going to be doing this thing. Hopefully more frequently. And of course,
we do talk boxing every Sunday.
We're going to be talking more Canelo, baby. April 30th. Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez. A week after. Goat Canelo, come on, baby. This is boxing fans. You guys are in the midst. You are in a wave. The wave is high right now. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. The month of April for 18 weeks, like my brother Gringo said, we're gonna be riding this wave, bro. We're enjoying it.
Shout out
absolutely,
to you
boxing
man.
Fans, and live it up, baby. This is our time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for us, and we're excited as far as content creators and supporting this niche sport. Sometimes we have to dig real deep of what the hell are we going to talk about. But not going forward, man. These next 18 weeks are going to be phenomenal.
Fire!
Oh man, they're going to be so great. So, what is up with our brother from another mother?
Oh yeah.
Your thoughts, brother? Anything you want to say? Shouts out to anyone, our supporters, detractors, defactors, those that love us, hate us, debate us.
Masturbate us.
Whoa. Look at that one. Quiero por comenzar a darle las gracias a todos ustedes por siempre seguirnos, siempre estar conectado con nosotros en las redes sociales, darnos ese apoyo que necesitamos cada día tras día. Yo creo que ahora mismo, en muchos tiempos atrás, estábamos como fanático del boxeo, estábamos orando por tener acción. Estábamos criticando, estábamos tirando, estábamos pataleteando, como nosotros decimos en el buen lenguaje latino. Just in a nutshell, boxing fans were screaming and yelling and complaining about the fact that we don't have, fights that are happening. There's no action at all. It makes no sense to pay pay-per-view. For what reason? I mean, just to be people with cherry picking and, just doing all kinds of stuff and getting some belts back and forth. No, pero en serio, tenemos un mes fenomenal. Mes de abril va a ser un mes en la cual, si te quejas, mi hermano, yo creo que estás en el deporte equivocado porque vamos a tener tanta acción y toda la acción te la vamos a seguir llevando a través de nuestras redes sociales, donde tú quieras que tú descargues tu podcast favorito. Ya sabes que nos puedes escuchar a nosotros, los tres locos amigos en vivo podcast. Y ya sabes, buscando historia, Puerto Rico hará historia el 30 de abril en el Madison Square Garden. Amanda Serrano contra Katie Taylor, lo mejor que ha pasado en el boxeo femenino. Y la boricua es parte de esos 7 divisiones. Obtendrá más títulos ahora. Coronada de arriba hasta abajo. Será la leyenda. Será el GOAT, lo que llamamos. Está por verse. But we got action this month. Thank you so much, guys, for always your support. We appreciate it. And we are always here in vivo, breaking it down like it is, always like it should be.
Absolutely, man, and well said. And that's another great point, and we'll talk about that in deeper detail on another show. But just to, kind of touch on it just quickly, a lot of people are fixated on specific fights for whatever reason. But this is a time, if you're truly a fight fan, to get good, exciting fights, to see the stars out, to see good matchups, to see fights that matter, fights with belts on the line. And, every division is hot right now, upper, lower, the heavyweights, middleweights, all we're seeing undisputed fights, good rematches, new fights, and the women
and countries fighting against each other. I mean, talk about something that we'll be breaking it down. Sorry to interrupt you, Sean, but Inoue against Donaire, Philippines against Japan coming up throughout this summer. I mean, it's going to be exciting times in the sport of boxing, and we can't wait. We can't wait till that happens.
Yeah. So, if you're going to want those updates, you're going to want to be checking out your brother from another mother, talking that good stuff and sticking that stiff jab in your mouth, talking that boxing talk. And we want to make sure to get a shout out to the supporters that support us. Shout out to the HCP Network.
HCP.
Man, you guys are great, and definitely check them out. They do great, exciting content each week. Check them out on YouTube, and also they have great podcasts that they update.
Congratulations, 100 episode. We know how that feels. It's a milestone. Congratulations. It was very good to be part of that. Thank you for, inviting us and being part of that, and I appreciate what you guys, all the love you guys give us to that, because that's kind of like the energy that feeds us to go out there and continue to do what we do.
Absolutely. And a big shout out to the Boxing Showcase, Hector Vasquez, putting together another great card in Irving, Texas. April 15th. They're putting it down April 15th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be the night of the champions, the guys who won the WBC 4-round tournament in each division are going to be making their appearance and back in the ring, and it's going to be a great time. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be a phenomenal night for any fight fan, for an intimate, great setting, great action, good quality fights, and just a great way to spend and the Friday night and kick off the weekend. But, again, it's been a great time to get back with my brothers, talking that stuff. We love to talk, and man, we love to hear from you. Definitely reach out to us via social media. We love to get the feedback, but only if it's positive. So thank you guys so much for checking us out. And episode 108.
Oh, wow. That's a super long
episode. Enjoy it. Woo! Hasta luego.
Hey!
Bueno.